All right, now let's just do a hypothetical. Five years from now, let's say Cooper Flag turns out to be everything that we think he's going to be. Let's say Wemby turns out to be everything he's going to be. You think SGA is better than Kobe already, so SGA is up here too.
Why are we misascribing quotes to me to try to get me cooked by the chat that I never said that?
All right, my bad.
What did I say?
Rewind, chat.
No. When Penn starts using those fingers.
Let's pretend I didn't say that.
What did I say? What did I specifically say?
No, let's not pretend you didn't say that, Ron, because he didn't say that. He did not say that.
All right,
you ain't gonna tell me on period.
In the group chat saying that Shai has more everything than Kobe in the playoffs at the same age. But he's not implying.
on the timeline.
He's not implying. He's not implying.
Doing it.
Yeah, he's just saying that for the sake of saying. He's not implying.
Like Randolph, David Lee, damn, David West.
You know what's happening. Definitely not. He just wanted to put them stats out there for no other reason other than just to point them out. Not because he's actually saying that, hey, Shai and Kobe, yeah, that's what's happening. I mean, you know what's going on. But he hasn't explicitly said it. So I guess he has the nice little outdoor.
He did not say that.
Technically, I haven't said Shai's better than Kobe.
No.
But I'm gonna just say everything that implies that I think Shai's better than Kobe.
John, text that to me.
We saw that. Yeah, we saw that.
I'll
John,
read
text
it
it to me right now.
It's now. We can pull it up.
Yo,
hold on, because I did this
John,
last week.
John, text it to me.
This gonna
Just
be right in
text
my
it.
lap. I want you to look at me and look at this plaque, and we're gonna talk about this man. I can't do it. I can't do it no more. I can't do it. We can't disrespect him too early. We can't do it.
Okay,
we can't do it. Get me off the big screen.
These are numbers, John. These are numbers. You don't need to feel disrespected by numbers. Numbers can't hurt you. Let me give you the numbers though. Between years 4 and 7, which right there, Mamba. You know, the first 3 championships, the ones that built up the legacy, right? Those ones where he was running through the league. He was great in those first 3 championships, right? We could say, especially those last 2 championships. Over those years 4 to 7. So I'm not including 17 and 18-year-old Kobe to inflate the stats. Okay, I'm sorry. You know, rest in peace, Mamba. I just want to put this out there. Between years 4 and 7 in their respective careers, in the playoffs, Shai averages more points, more rebounds, more assists, more blocks, more steals, higher field goal percentage, higher free throw percentage, fewer turnovers in 5 less minutes.
Is the pace different?
Can we have a conversation?
Now you tell me what he's trying to imply. With that statement, what's he trying to imply?
Does the pace and the spacing differ to you at all? Like,
the pacing is in your favor because you're playing 5 less minutes. Let me tell you something. If I adjust for pace and I make
just said like more points and assists,
Shai scores. Hang on, you didn't even get to the mic drop moment. Shai not playing with Shaquille O'Neal. If I adjust for pace, if I adjust for per possession, Shai scores 25% more than Kobe per possession.
And Kobe also don't get to stand around while 6 other dudes play all the defense.
Yeah. Talk about that.
While everybody else plays the defense, Kobe wasn't standing around watching his teammates play all the damn defense.
That's what it sounds like.
And also, hey, guess what? When Kobe was off the floor, we wasn't a plus 25 either. Talk about that, Ox. Talk about that. You know.
I mean, since 1960, there are only 13 players in league history who have won MVP and NBA championship in the same season. Okay, you don't care about that.
No, I don't.
That means a lot
at all. I don't,
because that is true utter dominance.
This era, the Thunder are better than everybody else.
Hey, wait a minute. Wait a goddamn minute. You know why? Because I just heard this dude over here to my right say to me that if Joker wins the league MVP for the 4th time, he's top 10. Swiper, you.
What's that got to do with winning a championship? What's that got to do with winning a championship?
Meanwhile, Penn just told me that.
Yeah, 13 players. But what's that got to do with winning a championship?
Meanwhile, Penn just told me that SGA is one of 13 guys to win the league MVP. And
he hasn't done it yet.
No, he will be the 14th.
That's some shit people vote for. That's just some shit people vote for.
Let me give you the names because I think the names since 1960
are going to
MVP, right? Hang on.
MVP, Steph won it in 15.
MVP and a championship in the same season, presumably.
How many does LeBron
Bill
got?
Russell.
One?
Hang on. Bill Russell. Wilt Chamberlain. Willis Reed.
MVP is something that people vote for, though.
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Moses Malone.
Yeah.
You seeing where we're at. Larry Bird. Larry Legend. Magic Johnson. Michael Jordan. Hakeem Olajuwon. Shaquille O'Neal. Tim Duncan. LeBron James. Steph Curry. Nobody else until possibly a few weeks from now. Yeah,
so what's the era is completely different though. Like that's what I'm trying to say.
It's harder.
It doesn't.
It's
no.
harder.
It is harder. It is harder to do.
He's playing in the harder conference.
Is that no? Hold on. Is that an indictment? Is that an indictment, for instance, on Joker?
Oh, he just no.
But they just won. I mean, they've all won. Giannis didn't even do it.
I'm sorry, Swiper. We got to add a Jokic trigger warning.
No, I said
the
MVP,
following statement is not offensive.
James Harden. No. So you're not gonna do that. Hey, SGA Muncher. You're not gonna do that to me. I'm bringing up all the MVPs, all of them. So answer: why didn't Harden win? Why didn't Giannis win? Why didn't Embiid win?
Bro,
why didn't Joker win? What I'm saying to you
calling
in this
me
era,
a muncher,
bro,
why you literally need a tampon anytime someone brings up anything about somebody who's not Jokic.
I'm gonna call you
when I said
when you start doing this nonsense, when I'm bringing up an overall point and start making these dumb jabs, I'm gonna call you what you are. What I'm saying to you in this instance, chill. I didn't even go there. I'm bringing up all the rest of the MVPs, and this dude want to come off and back talking again. So what I'm saying is, in this era, it's different. It's more difficult for the best player in the world to win a title because of roster construction and team construction. Chill just started this episode today talking about the CBA. So what I'm saying is, this is a different era to win as the best player in the world on the team. The Thunder have by far the best team in the world, and deservedly so.
But if they got bounced in the first round, you wouldn't be saying this.
Great. Who? Shai?
Stop it, man.
What is that? What does winning have to do with that? What does winning have to do with that?
I'm tired of this logic because every
what does winning have to do with that?
Every year y'all want to do this where
y'all? You I picked the Thunder to win a title.
No, you didn't. You had them losing last round.
Before the season started, I picked the Thunder
to win a title. If you had them losing
before the season started, I picked the Thunder to win the title. So who is y'all? Who is y'all?
Well, I believe that I picked the Thunder to win a championship as well. Okay, so you're not going to come here.
You're not talking to me. You're talking to the rest of the group. I got you.
Okay, cool. All I'm saying is we're not all up here doing propaganda runs. Okay, I really could give a shit less what you think about who you picked, or you want to come up here with your hat, your A hat, whatever, yesterday and do victory laps over being in some sort of visionary about who Tyrese Halliburton was. I really don't.
OKC right now. You've been on the timeline talking about this. You doing victory run about OKC like they're the favorite to win the title.
But I'm not. But hang on, I'm not doing
a plus 500, a minus 900, and all of these.
Let me present you with a key difference. I'm not doing OKC victory laps to prop up my favorite player, Scotty Barnes. I'm doing OKC victory laps because I genuinely appreciate this.
You did a Scotty Barnes prop yesterday. You put up Scotty Barnes tweets yesterday. What does that got to do with anything? We're talking about OKC.
No, I'm talking about the agenda pushing that you consistently do.
There is no agenda.
Yes, there is an agenda.
Being the best player in the world. I've already talked about this multiple times. If you don't have the roster construction and you don't have the depth, it is more difficult to win in this era as the best player than any other. I've talked about this multiple times. That includes Giannis. Giannis for me is the second best player in the world. Why can't he even get past the first or second round every year? Because the team sucks. The Bucks suck. Is it Giannis's fault? Is it somehow an indictment? Not saying you. Somehow an indictment on Giannis Antetokounmpo that he's not been to the conference finals since 2021. No. I don't believe that. I believe that the team has not been put in the proper situation around Giannis for them to be able to get to the conference finals. That's just facts.
Okay.
It's that simple.
Hang on. I'm tired of reverse engineering everything. Number one, you said a lot of stuff there. Number one, yes, you are pushing an agenda. When you glaze OKC's defense now and you're saying like, oh, they're the greatest defense ever. All you doing, don't nod your head. We can all see what you're doing. All you want to do right now is present how much better Jokic is than other people realize, and how great your Denver Nuggets are for pushing this team to 7 because no other team came close. We all see your agenda on the timeline. What I'm trying to tell you is you and I are praising the OKC. Bro, you and I are praising OKC for completely different reasons. I am praising OKC because I genuinely appreciate a team that builds to the draft, doesn't get some favors because they're a big market team. I very much appreciate small market teams doing well. They've built through the draft. They've built the right way. They have a great team system. They have a great development staff. I just appreciate them. And everybody wants to turn it into some sort of munching agenda about Canadian this, Canadian that. When the hell have you ever heard me be like some hype boy for Canadians? I don't give a shit less. I have talked a lot of shit about Steve Nash throughout my career as a basketball analyst. So I generally don't care.
Literally, Chill just said They're possibly the greatest defense ever. And
but you're saying that because they're winning. If they lost in the first round, you wouldn't.
No, because that's the issue. In the regular season, they were already in the conversation as the best defense ever without winning a championship. Without winning a championship, they added it by going to the playoffs and maintaining what they've done. They were already in best defense ever talks before the 82-game season finished.
Test what you're saying. You want to shit test what you're saying? Go read the comments. When I brought up that Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, no, hang on. When I said the OKC Thunder were going to win a championship, I got major pushback when people said they're not ready. That was the consensus on this panel, is that they were not ready. There were very few people co-signing that take. So shut up about that. Number one, because it's very easy to say. It's very easy to say now that because they're about to go to the finals and presumably about to win, that everybody saw this coming. No, they didn't.
Who is everybody? You're not talking to everybody. You're talking to me. Yeah, the thing is, this started off because when I'm talking about what this era, which I'm accurate, I'm 100% right. It is more difficult to win as the best player on a team or the best player period of your era because of the things that have to happen around you and your roster and your front office and your coaching to win. That is true. I think there are consistent reasons why Jokic.
I'm Giannis, a muncher. Can you go 2 minutes without making a Jokic point? I
just said the best player. Penn, you think the best player in the world is Jokic? So we're going to the point that was original. I think it's more difficult to win in these situations when you have to depend on your 1 through 9 in a different way than you have in previous iteration. Because back in the day, when you had LeBron and all the people you read off, Steph Curry played for the best team in the sport in 14-15 when he won the title. LeBron James for the best team in the sport with Dwayne Wade, with Chris Bosh when he did that. Shaquille O'Neal in 2000 played with Kobe when he did that. Kareem when he did that. Played with Magic Johnson when he did that. Go through all of those names.
And in the last
they played on all-time great teams in order to get the job done.
Previous to what we're seeing right now in the last 6 years, how many times has the best player in the world been in the NBA championship? Not won it. Let's take winning it off the table. Just been in the NBA championship. How many?
Probably like a lot. LeBron was the best player.
2021 and 2020, maybe?
Tim Duncan. I mean, I don't know. Say
Tim One more time, Mars.
2020, 2020, 2021, and 2023 are like the years you can make the argument.
So that's barely half.
I hate to step in and interrupt this intense yap session that you're currently watching, but I just have to inform you on all the amazing, spectacular, fabulous, endless ways to play and win over at Prize Picks. Basketball fans, I know the season is just tipping off. Yes, I know this. But you know what that means? It means that you have an opportunity to pick your favorite players and their matchups that are the most thrilling, and you can win money from these. With Prize Picks, you can play daily NBA contests and test your hoop knowledge by choosing the player projections and every single stat line imaginable to make your Prize Picks and take home some nice hard-earned cash. Are you a rookie in the game? Don't even sweat it. I got the playbook for you right here. All you have to do is download Prize Picks, use promo code PANEL, and you will get $50 instantly when you play 5 here with Prize Picks. So what are you waiting for? Download Prize Picks, use promo code PANEL, and join me as we break down all of our amazing daily picks right here on the panel. Prize Picks. Run your game, control your game, win your game. It's easy, baby. It's easy.
What about all the years that LeBron made the finals?
Okay, but that was a different CBA. Which
9.
Is Swiper's point. That's a different CBA, which is Swiper's point.
But this CBA is not the reason why the Denver Nuggets depth is cooked. Your depth is cooked because that's how you team build. You overpaid role players.
KCP left because that $60 million that he got in Orlando was not available in Denver. Because that Bruce Brown got was not available in Denver. It was available somewhere else. If the money was different, he would have stayed there.
Hang on. No. Jokic has nothing to do with the Kroenkes' willingness or unwillingness to go into the luxury tax, go deeper into the luxury tax. To go deeper into the luxury tax, as you understand, that the money. Look, the Boston Celtics kept their core together. They extended Jaylen Brown. They didn't have to extend Jaylen Brown.
They didn't have the ability to pay Bruce Brown more than $7.2 million. They literally legally could not. KCP
That's a different situation.
Yeah, KCP was a different story. KCP got $22 million from the Magic. They weren't going to pay him anywhere near that.
Okay,
number. So that was because of the second apron, though. So that was also a CBA thing. They did not want to go to the second apron to pay for KCP, but they had and I also saw that when they signed Zeke Naji for $8 million, if they didn't have Zeke's contract on the roster, then they could have added KCP. But the problem was they needed an intermediate contract that was not a max contract or better minimum to be able to move, which was the $8 million they gave the Zeke. It was a wrong decision. But again, we've argued about this. I think the draft stuff for Denver was wrong. Late 20s, early 30s. That's not how you build a roster. And on top of that, I think they should have brought back KCP. The one decision they had control of was KCP, and they let him go because of the CBA.
You remember Jerry Krause saying organizations win championships?
Yes, I agree with you.
He was right. Organizations do win championships. Players do have to get you through the door. And yo, if you have a top 5 player and your organization is doing their job, you should be at the dance every year. And if your organization is not future planning, we talk about the Bulls and the dynasty that ran through the 90s. How big a part of that dynasty was identifying the diamond in the rough that nobody else wanted to take a chance on, which was Dennis Rodman. How big a part of that dynasty was identifying Toni Kukoc as a Croatian prospect that was a little bit underrated because Jerry Krause was such a great scout. My point is understanding team dynamics, understanding how to fill your rosters, understanding team planning, future planning to say our window is this. How do we maximize this? You should have known Bruce Brown was going to be gone. That's anticipation. That's understanding.
They replaced
him. In order to know Bruce Brown was going to be gone, you should have replaced that.
No, I'm not.
They replaced him with the draft pick.
We got away from the conversation that we were having, which was about SGA and what this team going to the finals means. Because John D was not trying to hear any more of this Bryant SGA thing. He wasn't. Cool. Because Mars,
get used to it.
To be honest with you, Mars, now listening to Penn's explanation, it is kind of what it sounds like. It does sound like you're telling us that SGA is better.
Yeah, I can't.
I'm not saying he's better. I'm saying have the conversation, put him in that conversation because look, 5 months ago I came up here and I said specifically, I said no. Okay. All right, cool.
No, look, read my lips.
I heard Ron apparently said that Kobe has a better handle than Shai. So Ron just be yapping too.
And other people up here agree.
Okay, and whoever agrees,
Shai's a better playmaker.
Kobe 100% has a better handle than SGA.
No,
he does not. Okay, I love Kobe. I'm not subscribing to that shit, bro. So
you niggas never watched, and you see
we watched it. We watched it.
No, you didn't.
That is so irrelevant because you're not taking the ball from either one of them, and both of them can get wherever they want to go. So when y'all talk about who has the better handles at this point, it's like who's a better tween, who's better dribbling around cones. They both get where they need to go, and nobody's taking the ball from either one of them. So what does it matter?
I think he belongs at the conversation. Look, Swiper wanted to put Nikola Jokic in, Hakeem talks and Shaq talks, and people lost their minds. But I think he belongs at that table. And as a talent, not as a career, as a talent, because you got to win championships to get there as a career. But as a talent, in terms of what he does in the basketball court, yeah, he does belong in that conversation. You can shuffle the deck, but just like Magic belonged in the conversation with Larry, right? Just like at some point we said Michael belongs in that conversation as well. It doesn't mean that one player is better than the other. I'm just saying we can have a discussion about it. I'm saying we could have a discussion about Shai and all-time guards. We can have a discussion about Shai and James Harden. We can have a discussion about Shai and D Wade and Steph Curry and Kobe Bryant. And the only guard in NBA history that I'm not
you lost me with D Wade, but that's just me though. But when you get to Steph,
you can pick
D Wade and Harden. We can have those conversations.
Listen,
I'm not
John D.
I'll talk about pretty much anything. So
if you make a post saying this is all the reasons why Kobe Bryant is better than Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, you're gonna get no pushback from me. I give a shit less. I don't care. I'm just saying, give him a seat at the table of all-time guards.
And he ain't deserve no seat at the table. He ain't need nothing to sit at the table. What are you talking about?
Okay, but this is the thing.
Punk ass MVP, and we want to put him at the pinpoint table.
Not Ron. You're right. Because the Thunder would be better than Tyrese Halliburton. I'm not trying to hear nothing from you.
A couple years of work. This boy ain't did nothing yet.
The Thunder would be better with. He did nothing.
He done nothing yet.
3 rounds.
In 2 weeks, will he have a seat at the table if they win?
No.
What does he have to do to get a seat at the table, Ron?
And then turn around and with the 3 more championships.
Wait, Ron. What does he have to? What does he have to do? I'm not sitting at the table. What do I have to do to get in the room of the pantheon of gods?
He's in the room.
He's not in the room, John.
He's sitting down.
He's not in the lobby yet. Hold on.
He's not in the lobby yet.
He's still outside getting his ID checked, Joe. But he gonna get in though. They gonna let him in.
I heard that if he wins a championship, he's the greatest Thunder of all time.
That was wrong, Penny. That's just wrong.
That's not wrong.
I'm not trying to.
He's not better than Kevin Durant.
He's not better than KD. I think Shai's at the table. Personally, I think Shai's at the table. In terms of the best guards to play, especially in this century, I think he's at the table. Now, me personally, Kobe and Steph have their own separate table.
They have their own house.
Like they're on a different table. I don't know what to tell you. Those guys, I'm leaving them out of this. But D Wade, Harden, Chris
Nash,
CP3, like Steve Nash, like all of those guys, Shai's at the table with them, in my opinion. Now, does that mean I have him number one over all of those guys? I don't think so. I'll say that. I don't think I do. I might. I don't think I do. But I think he's at the table with those guys. I just think Kobe and Steph.
I think the only guard in NBA history that just cannot have a conversation.
Pen, hold this thought, please, because this the kind of shit that drives me crazy. Because y'all dudes jump on my ass on the regular. Mars,
talking about the win.
Did you not sit up here, Mars, and tell me a couple of days ago that if the Minnesota Timberwolves won the NBA championship, that we could have a conversation about Anthony Edwards being better than KG, off the set to them winning? But now,
what I said was, here's what I said.
But now,
I remember that conversation.
Now,
what I said was, why can't you have the conversation?
Okay,
based on the idea of winning a franchise first championship.
Okay,
that's what I said. Now, my opinion on the matter is Kevin Garnett clears Anthony Edwards.
Okay,
that's my opinion. But when it comes down to, my opinion has been very clear about Kevin Garnett. Very clear. My opinion is also Kevin Durant is the best player to play for the Thunder, and I doubt Shai's ever going to be as good as I think Kevin Durant was. He might. I doubt it. So for me, Shai at best is going to be the second best Thunder ever. At best. But he might become the best. He might just play there for 15 years, and then it's like, oh, okay, Shai got it. But for me,
KD has been there for 9 years.
But based on how the best for a franchise conversations have worked historically,
sure.
If Ant were to win a title, why couldn't he be over KG?
Okay,
now, I know why he wouldn't be over KG for me, but that's because I just do things different.
You don't.
I gotta ask you this.
Hang on. He's just not close to KG.
Is Anthony? Who's closer to who? Is Shai closer to
KD? Shai's closer to KD.
I think he's really close to KD. And KD was my favorite player growing up from like 2007 till 2019. No one talking to me about anything. KD was my favorite player. So I'm gonna say this 100%. Shai is absolutely in that conversation. You can give the edge to KD for sure.
Chill.
Welcome to the club is very full.
We got a taste of what's going to happen.
Hold on. Chill. So
I just think Shai's at table too.
This is where my pushback came from originally. And so when Penn said the thing about the 13 players and the seat and table is going to be at, the reason why I dislike that combo, Penn, based on things I've already said for months.
Because Jokic has never done it. But if Jokic did do it, you'd be literally tweeting about it every day, every night.
I'm not going to call you when I called you again, but when you do that, like that like you streamline me in a way in your own brain that is not even the connectivity. It just so happens that Jokic is playing at a level that he's the best in the world. But if any other player played for Denver, if Melo was playing for Denver right now, they had never won, I would not mention Melo at all because he was never in that conversation. So yes, Jokic is considered the best in the world by a consensus. So therefore he's included in the conversation. I agree with you. But my conversation about this is larger than just one player. It's about the scheme of one player in context of an entire league and the CBA. So you can keep pointing at Jokic and saying it's an agenda, but that's just what it is. So that's why please stop doing that. Let me just talk about the sport and then not have it be directly connected to a narrative. Am I allowed to do that?
Yes, you are.
Thank you.
If you don't make it about a narrative, cool.
So again, Penn, I'm trying really hard to just euro everything you're saying right now without going straight at you. So chill. The context
you got that type of forward
is that we're and again, I'm doing a ladder drill right now to get away from this. So dead leg drill all day. So what I'm saying is chill.
Yep.
Do you agree? And the reason why I said it doesn't matter. Because even in all those situations, I think Steph played for the best team in the world by far. They had 3 All-Stars and a DPOY.
Yep.
I think you look at LeBron, Wade and Bosh, like they also were an all-time great team. I think if you look at the Lakers in 2000, like all that stuff, they had the best team in the world. He was playing with Kobe. Shaq was crazy. I mean, again, they were all preeminent all-time great talents. But the context around it is, I think now, the last 6 years, and I think Mars would agree with this. So since 2019, we would say the best players in the world have been basically LeBron at the tail end, and he won in 20.
He's
Giannis,
on the list.
and then Jokic, right? But I'm saying
Steph in there, but I'm with
Steph in 21 too, crazy year, right? Crazy year. But even Steph won in 22. But even that was like a weird year where the talent and all kind of stuff. But then the CBA hits. Like we get a brand new CBA chill, and then now everything's different. Like literally the Pacers, they might be the best team in the Eastern Conference just because 1 through 10, they just got a bunch of guys. Yep. They just got a bunch of guys, chill. And even as good as Tatum is, Tatum was down 3-1 in this team. And as good as we thought the Boston Celtics were, they were down 3-1 because of 1 through 10 and 1 through 11. And so what I'm saying, Chill, is that the reason why I don't care about it as much, I don't think it's as contingent on you having the best player as much as it has been in the relative eras, due to the fact that you have to be able to go 1 through 9, I think, in this new era, and have multiple bodies and multiple players that do multiple things to help you through a regular season grind, but also through a playoff run. But do you think that's
my name ain't on the poll, right?
But hang on 1 second, so to try to articulate, to try to tackle this without getting heated.
I shoot like Larry Bird. I shoot like Larry Bird.
I am not saying that what Shai is doing is amazing as an indictment on every other player who hasn't done the same thing. I'm not saying, oh well, he's entering this incredible list of 13 players, and look, Jokic and Giannis and so and so are not, and all these guys are not on the list. D Wade's not on the list. Dirk's not on the list. They're bums. No, man. Sometimes you are the best player in the world and your team just doesn't show up. Sometimes you're the best player in the world and you just run into the wrong matchup. I realized that, if the OKC Thunder had gotten bounced in the second round, everyone would be talking about what? If they had gotten bounced by the Denver Nuggets, everybody would be saying, oh, Shai's a playoff dropper because he had some tough games. People would be talking about Chet Holmgren is overrated. J-Dub didn't show up because blah, 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 blah. But when they got through that series, we can't say the inverse, that they deserve some damn credit for getting through a really formidable foe. So what I'm saying is Shai Gilgeous-Alexander being on this list potentially, because he hasn't won the championship yet, and respect to the Indiana Pacers, they may push this, I don't know, but probably not. I'm saying his seat at that table should be a compliment for Shai. It doesn't need to be an insult to everybody else who's not in that very unique group, because it's a very specific thing. Because Real Talk tweeted out that Shai is going to be the first player ever to win Western Conference Finals MVP plus, MVP plus. Okay, well, Western Conference Finals MVP, that particular trophy, it wasn't there.
Yep.
Right. So this is just something that your kids someday are going to bring this up, and Shai was the first, and someone's going to be like, well, LeBron never did that, and be like, well, man, it's just arbitrary
because it wasn't around. But
yeah,
to Swiper's point, yes, Swiper, because back then I was able to build my unit around my best player and hold on to him much longer, which would explain why we were able to win championships. Why you saw the Miami Heat, not just the Miami Heat, but to go back to the Bulls, to go back to the Celtics, I was able to hold on to these guys a lot longer. But the fact that now what the CBA has done, even if I do have my best player and I'm able to build around him, I'm not able to build around him nearly as long, because these other guys are going to go.
Yeah, 7 straight different champions, Joe. Like that.
That's what I'm talking about.
Hold on, Pin. Like that's crazy. We've never existed in that place. I think that matters.
I don't think if I'm being honest with you, Swiper, and I'm projecting here, I don't think we're going to have a repeat champion this decade.
I think we'll have one. Well, I think we'll have one next year.
I thought we were going to have one. I thought we were going to have one this year.
Going back to back?
Wrong. I thought we were going to have one this year. I was wrong about that. I thought that the Milwaukee Bucks would do it again. Wrong about that.
Every champion gets that label, right?
I thought Denver could do it again. Champion. Wrong about that. I'm not sure if we're going to have a repeat champion this decade.
So,
and I
think Boston and OKC were in the best
strength of your point, Swiper, that these teams, they were able to build around their best player and hold on to these units much longer. I mean, that Laker team with Kobe and Shaq, well, Robert Horry, Brian Shaw, Derek Fisher, Rick Fox, them dudes were together for a long time. Like, we don't see that now. We don't see teams where guys are together 5, 6, 7 years.
And then we could even argue they blew up their own process when they added Malone and Gary Payton and all that stuff to the unit. So it's they're Well, I'm saying like they decided to do that, and then they ran into the Detroit team and all that.
They still should have won,
right? But they got dog walk for a reason. Kachonchi went like that, and Rashid and Ben and all them. So what I'm saying is, even look at the Spurs. The Spurs, they held on to 3 different iterations of their team.
100%.
So like they won in the 99, then they won in 03, they won again 2 more times, and then they won again in 2014. So what I'm saying is like even them, they just found a way to reconfigure multiple times, and maybe that's it. Maybe it's just the Spurs model is more realistic now because you're gonna have to suffer some penalties for a few years, lose some players, but then you got to reconfigure every few years or so, and then you can get back there. But even to Penn's point, and now back to you because you're not trolling anymore. I think OKC should be the favorite, but they might not even win next year, and who knows why? I mean, there could be a litany of reasons their top end guys are not healthy in the playoffs, or another team in the Western Conference they completely reload their roster. Now the top end talent and they got the bench.
The difference. Just really quickly, Penn. John D. Think about what $76 million on the books means just for you. That's just for you. And then on top of that, the other guy, your other guy running with you. Now I got to pay him something substantial next year.
But that's
Oklahoma City.
But that's what I'm saying though. Like you're the money that you're going to be paying to Chet, J-Dub, and Shai, that's gonna hurt. But when you have the draft capital that OKC does, you have the flexibility to bring in a guy and be like, look, you're going to learn under Alex Caruso. Like that's really good. You can learn under Lou Dort. You can learn under Isaiah Hartenstein. You can watch high-level basketball be played for 2 years before you get a real position in the rotation. And then when you're not trying to pay Isaiah Hartenstein, you have this center who's been learning off of him for 2 years. And then you have this other guard that's been learning off of Caruso for 2 years. And if he doesn't work, you also have multiple other draft picks you can pull in. I'm not saying they have to hit on every single draft pick, but OKC's hit rate is pretty high.
But we also remember too, John,
so much better
next year, and as a business, what do we see the most?
Possible.
We see other businesses raiding businesses. So don't think for 1 second that those guys won't get poached. Mars, I'm going to tell you this one more time. Give me the kid, Mars.
No.
Give me the kid.
You can't have the kid, Joe.
I'm at a point where out of spite, I would make him untouchable.
Give me the kid, Mars.
That's funny. Swiper, I think you're gonna appreciate this. There are 5 players in NBA history who, over a 12-game sample, and shout out to Nerd Sesh for the stat because I would never have thought to even think about this, who've averaged 30, 6, and 7 on 60% true shooting. There's 5 players in NBA history who have done this over a 12-game sample in the playoffs. Who are they?
5 games.
I'll tell you.
LeBron, Jokic, Shai.
That's 3.
35 and 5. Is that what you said?
37 and 7.
36 and 7.
36 and
7.
So
Jordan
Jokic is 1. SGA is 1. Who else did you say?
LeBron and Jordan.
Mm-hmm.
Jordan.
And then there's a 5th.
And then the 5th one would be
Jabbar.
Am I tripping to say Steph?
It's not Steph.
It's got to be Kobe.
30.
It's not Kobe. Kobe just missed it.
Damn it.
36.
Shai's already on the list.
Oh, okay.
So it's Shai, Jokic, Michael, LeBron.
Wait, what is it? What is it?
Larry? Is it Larry?
30, 6, and 7 over a 12-game stretch in the playoffs. 60% true shooting. It's not Luka.
Damn it!
It is James Harden.
Yeah, hard.
That's crazy.
So, but again, I think
but my point was arbitrary. Like it's arbitrary, right? Like this thing, and to answer Chill's point, and to your point about like we're not going to get another repeat champion. Yes, we will. And the reason we're going to get another repeat champion is for the same reason we got Golden State repeating. It's the same reason that we had the Lakers repeating in the early 2000s. Dynasties are formed by gaps in advantage, because a lot of things are going to go wrong for you in the playoffs. I think I can argue, and this may sound controversial, that the OKC Thunder have had a lot of things go wrong for them in the playoffs. Okay, Shai's had stinkers, Chet's had stinkers.
But this year,
that's not a wrong. That's not a wrong.
No, it is wrong.
Aaron Gordon. That's all we got to say.
Okay, some things.
John Morant getting hurt was What?
Okay. That didn't matter, Ron. That didn't matter. They were beating shit out of
the
No, but you're right. You're right. You're right, Ron. You're right. My bad.
Lou Dort launching threes and missing everything from
that's basketball though. That's not going wrong.
I understand that.
And then Mark did the right thing and took him out so that Case and them dudes could save his ass.
Cool. But Shai struggled.
Shai struggled. How dare you talk about Lou Dort not making those
threes? Shai struggled. Hang on. No. Shai struggled.
He's gonna struggle. He struggled this series.
Okay. Here's the thing. I would say that number one, their gap of advantage is the number one thing that I care about the most. Is I already think they're so much better than the field that I think that's huge. Number two, I think the fact that Isaiah Hartenstein and Alex Caruso just got on this team, right? They didn't have the full year with Chet. They only had one training camp. I think that gets better. Teams tend to get better as you go a few years into playing with each other. You tend to get better, right? We're
how much better is Alex Caruso and Hartenstein going to get for them, though? You know what I mean? Like,
but it's not about them individually getting better. It's like Isaiah Hartenstein and Chet Holmgren, like the chemistry between those two bigs.
No, that
was sort of deprived,
I can get
right?
Because
Chet got hurt. Chet got hurt this year. Yeah. So you consider the age of Mark Daigneault. This is his first deep playoff run. Is he learning a lot? For sure, he's learning a lot, right? Shai. Like we are seeing Shai get better game by game. In that Denver series, he was flustered as shit early in, but he started
right there. I got to ask you about as far as SGA goes though. And this isn't hate, yo. I'm just saying he's been in the league for a little bit now, right? And he's gotten much better since he got into the league. How much better do we expect SGA to get? Like, you know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying he can't get better. I'm just because there's definitely things he could work on, but I mean, he's gotten so much better. Is there more leaps he's going to be able to take?
I think there's 3 huge leaps he can take.
Okay. What are those?
I think leap number 1 could be his on-ball defense can get a lot better, right? His on-ball defense can get a lot better. Leap number 2 is I think he can get even stronger in the paint, right? And
like driving to the rack, like staying on balance and stuff? Okay.
So I actually want to say 4 things. Number 3, I think his playmaking can improve so much. Like his court mapping, sometimes he gets tunnel vision, and I think he can get so much better at and we're seeing it. We're seeing it in real time now. Where with the Minnesota Timberwolves early on the season, like early in the series, he was getting a little bit flustered. He wasn't seeing the openings. Now he's like simple reads, simple passes. He's just adjusting. He has a mind to learn very quickly, and he applies shit that he learns very quickly because he's just very focused individual who has that determination to get better on things. And the thing is the deep shooting.
My bad, go ahead.
I think the deep shooting can get a lot better because he's already a 3-level scorer. We're seeing the deep. If this guy can figure out 40% 3-point shooting from like 28 feet. Like he start get that deep shot going,
or he can just shoot above 30% from 3. That'd be great.
Turn into Steph. I mean,
golly. What you just described to me sounds awfully close to a perfect basketball player, and I just think those are very rare. Like it's very rare that we get a perfect basketball player.
But that's what he's after. That's what he's after.
And mind you, I'm not saying that's not what he's after. I believe that's what he should thrive for. No doubt about that. I'm just saying like a perfect basketball player is kind of not, I don't want to say unrealistic, but it's very rare, and it's hard to find any, like even I'm talking about all-time greats, the Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Michael Jordan. These dudes weren't perfect basketball players. You know what I'm saying? It's just really hard to not have any flaws. And if SGA does achieve that feet pin, that's, hats off, more power to him. You know what I'm saying? I don't want him to not get better. I'm just curious to know, like, how does one become a perfect basketball player?
Can his flaws, Ox, be masked? Can his flaws be masked by how great he is at so many other things?
Or it could be masked by his teammates being top notch on the defensive end, and that's not a knock either. That's a good thing. That's a good thing.
That's how
ideally you want great defenders around your star players.
And not to say he doesn't play defense because he's a defender as well.
He's a good defender. If Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, just ended up, I don't know, on some great team with 2 players who were better than him, he would probably be one of your like top 3 defenders, top 2 defenders. He'd be doing. Exactly.
I mean, you can be a top 2 defender. That doesn't say how good of a defender you are. He would never. I don't think he'll ever be the defender. Yeah, I don't think he'll ever be the defender of Casey Wallace, Lou Dort, Alex Caruso. I don't think he'll ever be that good of a defender.
I think he could be like a 90th percentile defender. I think he could make a few balls.
Man.
Hey, Ron.
Shai the GOAT. Hey, Shai the GOAT.
Wait. Ron.
Shai the GOAT.
Here's my problem. My problem is with Ron talking about that the guy hasn't done anything. Okay, I'd like to think that yes, he has.
Boy, did a goddamn thing.
I mean, that's just not true. Ron, compared to not only compared to what's going on in today's
you
game,
are the guy.
Ron,
in order to pass somebody up, you got to play 50 years in the NBA.
I didn't say
what?
50. I did not say 50.
Morris,
I did not say
Morris.
Shai been averaging 30 for 3 years, Ron.
We've only seen him do it for 2 years.
How long? We're in year 4 right now. We're in year 4 of this.
Year 3. Year 3, technically. Of SGA, year 3.
So 25, 30, 30, 30. That's what he's been doing, right? So almost, and on top of that, so we're looking at anywhere around like 27, 5 and 5. That's who he is over like the last 4 years. With that being said, Ron, he's played over these last 4 years. This dude didn't just show up last year. This dude didn't just show up 2 years ago. When I talked about him and Jason Tatum, that was my issue, that we were putting these dudes in conversations that they weren't in 2 years previous to that. Now when he showed up and he's gotten better, I have to give it up that, yo, this dude is showing me what he can be as an elite player. You, on the other hand, are telling me that this dude hasn't done anything. I'm a first team All-Pro for 3 straight years, Ron. That's a big-ass deal. That is a big deal. I don't care if I got bounced in the round. I don't care if I got bounced in round 1 in the playoffs every year. I'm a first-team All-Pro. That means that I'm playing at a top 10 level every year the last 3 years. That's a big deal, Ron.
Not only is
then
he
we add
MVP.
the winning into this.
Go ahead.
Then once we add the winning into this, now I get into a different stratosphere, which is where he is now, getting to the NBA Finals. Now I get catapulted over other guys who haven't been here over the last couple of years. When you talk about SGA not doing anything, you can't say that he's not done anything, Ron.
Okay,
hang on. He's not in it. It's planets. And he's not in this galaxy.
The trajectory and growth is crazy.
Hey, Morris, he might be on the way there. He's not in.
No, Kobe Bryant, he is there, bro. What? Bro, Ron, you need to wake up. Okay,
I need to wake up to what?
Okay, look at this. Per 100 possessions, this is his scoring rate per 100 possessions. From
I don't want to hear about no per 100 possessions, man. Goddamn, I don't want to hear it. I'm through with it. I'm done.
Come on, brother. You are asleep. You need to activate that third eye and wake.
Ron, not right now. Let me ask you this question. All right,
I promise you this is going to make some sense. No, I promise you this is going to
make sense.
Okay,
he's not with Ron, Kobe Bryant.
Forget about Kobe for a second.
He's not like
these numbers have nothing to do with Kobe. These numbers have nothing to do yet. Bro, he has an MVP. You were talking about a guy who's averaging 30 for.
Ooh, I got an MVP.
MVP means
no.
No.
So Ron, what do you? So Ron, what do you?
You like some SGA generational hater, and it's honestly
Ron,
weird.
What do you want from this? Because you know how I feel about
Steph Curry
got back-to-back
MVPs. When Steph Curry got back-to-back MVPs,
we got munchers, we got glazers, all in one.
Back-to-back MVPs and went to back-to-back finals. We didn't put him in Kobe Bryant conversation.
It's a convention.
Who? In 2016,
Jordan conversations. I remember.
Hold that thing up high.
I remember 2016. They were putting Steph Curry and Michael Jordan conversations.
Take it a step further than that. Mars, take it a step further than that.
9 years ago. That's what they were doing.
Please don't stop there, Mars.
SGA does not have KD.
Jordan talks.
SGA does not have KD.
Is he in Michael Jordan talks right now?
No.
SGA.
Okay, so we clearly when that happened, it was a major overreaction.
How long until we get Steph Curry talking SGA? How long until we get there? One more time.
Well, Penn tried to put him in there earlier this year.
That's gonna happen.
Right there.
2016.
Y'all are late. Y'all are late. He did that already. Swiper. He did that already.
This is the thing, though.
He doesn't think he's better than Steph.
Yes, he does. He said he said Shai was better than unanimous MVP. Steph Curry. Penn said that.
I said
Penn said that
Curry.
SGA was better than
2016 Curry that won the league MVP.
17.
You said
I said 17. I said 17.
Okay, so take that.
I think winning.
It's semantics.
Oh wait. So y'all telling me he didn't say he was better than 16 Curry?
No, I did not.
He said
17.
He said Shai was better than Pete Curry, and then started going on a rant talking about 17 Steph. which I believe was so that he can have plausible deniability and say he didn't say 16. But he said he was better than peak Steph. That's what he said. So once again, Penn said he was better than peak Steph, but then just went on a whole tangent talking about 17 Steph, so that when this conversation could be revisited, like it's being revisited now, he can say, I didn't say 16. Like, but I know what he did. He said he was better than peak Steph. That's what he said.
Penn, 2016 Steph Curry and SGA today.
Yo.
Where's the gap?
Just
2016?
2016 Steph Curry and
just
2025 SGA. What's the gap?
Pull up your hands.
Put your hands up. I think this is so nasty.
Up. No, go up. Up a little bit more. There you are.
So Steph Curry in 2016 and SGA today, this is the gap between
eyebrow?
So eyebrow? What it is.
That's the gap.
That's an Anthony Davis eyebrow.
No, that's a good gap.
That's what it is.
Yo,
that's a good gap.
No, hang on. This is what I'm trying to say. I was trying to get this. Hang on.
You're really being serious right now? Like for real? I know you just said you're being serious, but are you seriously being serious?
Wait, who was on top of who was on top of who?
SGA is on the bottom.
Who's the bottom? Who's the bottom?
Shai the bottom.
Ox.
Okay.
This Curry, no doubt.
Yo, I'm trying to explain to you like the growth trajectory of players is very, very hard to match. Now, y'all know I'm a draft like nerd, right? Yes. Like I follow the draft very much. I'm very curious about how we miss these players. And again, I followed some of the greatest growth trajectories of all time, like Giannis. Look at where Shai has come from to where he's gotten, and point to where you think this might go. Okay.
Yep.
Now, sorry, Ron, I'm gonna have to bring this number up per 100 possession scoring. He's gone from 19 as a rookie. No, 19 as a rookie, 19, okay, to 26, to 33, to 34, to 42, to 42.4, to 45.9. Where's the regression? Consider his box plus minus from his rookie year to this year, and you're going to see the staggering number that's going up. 0.5, 1.7, 4.1, 3.4, 7.3, 9.0, 11.5 this past year. If he takes this up one more notch, yes, you are talking about like the greatest seasons of all time. You're up there with the peak seasons of Jokic, the peak seasons of Jordan. Those are the seasons that are above this level. And just so you know, over the past 3 years, the 7.3, the 9.0, and the 11.5, Kobe never clipped 6, ever. So just so you're aware,
but
that's what we're doing this again. This is where
I'm telling you what the numbers.
Everything comes full circle.
But hold on, but this is what I'm. But I don't. I really, this SGA thing is so difficult to frame because
people don't want to accept it.
But it's not. It's you too.
I don't want to accept that he's better than Kobe.
No, it's the same thing as Jokic. It's completely different. Look, I was campaigning for Jokic being the best player in the world before it was very popular for that to be the accepted norm. People like, oh no, he's pudgy, he's this, he's that, he's a bad defender. I'm like, but look at what he's doing. He is the best player in the world. Okay. The numbers, you might say they're stupid. I was looking at a podcast that I did 3 years ago about why the Pacers won the Halliburton and Domas trade, and I was pointing to a lot of those numbers, and I was saying, look, man, the numbers say Tyrese Halliburton is way better than people realize he is, and the Pacers are going to find out. So look, man, when you get back to the basis of basketball beyond the space generation and gravity and all that stuff, we really are talking about, is my team really winning your minutes? That's all it is.
And you're a draft nerd, and Penn, you're a draft nerd. So with you being a draft nerd, in 2018, when SGA is coming out of college, what I want you to do is I want you to fast forward today, and I want you to think about a 4th place team in the SEC and their 2nd leading scorer. Are you projecting that guy to be this?
No, of course not. Not even close. People thought he was going to be a defensive stopper, maybe a connective passer, maybe a good 3rd, 4th option. He was not getting hyped.
So that's the point I'm making. So how do we project? How do we project guys like this? Like John Calipari, he clearly didn't get it. He clearly got it wrong.
I'll actually tell you, because I did an entire live on this yesterday about how great teams draft, and there's certain things that we tend to overvalue as draft evaluators.
Yep.
Like scoring is one thing we tend to massively overvalue at the youth level. This is the Mikey Williams story, right? Put up big numbers, get a lot of hype. The Imani Bates, like those guys. We tend to undervalue things that are not typical for the position, right? Like who's out there measuring Shai's balance? Who's out there measuring a center like Nikola Jokic's hand-eye coordination? These are not things we think about. The passing from a center, we just like, no, he doesn't block shots, so he's a bum. He doesn't look like the normal thing. The most important thing I think
fair.
that you need to really evaluate is the mind of the player, and this is the hardest thing to evaluate. When I think about players mentally, I think about a player going down 2-1 in a series, or a player being down 15 at halftime. What part of the brain, right? Like what part of the brain activates when you get that situation? When you go down 2-1, it's an opportunity. When you're down 2 with 3 seconds to go, it's an opportunity to hit a game winner. But not every player perceives that as an opportunity. A lot of players view it as a stress. Like, oh, what if I miss?
Packed up.
Hey, so Penn, I'm just trying to figure out, because I'm following what you're saying. What the hell this got to do with this boy being in Curry and Kobe conversations?
The greatest players of all time, have minds that are significantly different than the average player. They want pressure. They view pressure as an opportunity. When you, okay, I'm gonna give you honest truth. When I was tasked, like when I got onto the court, right, and we're down 1, and I know there's a big play, and I got to make a pass, I was nervous. I had like nerves running. I could feel my heart rate. I used to have to, try to put my hand on my heart to like stop me from being nervous in those moments, because I was, you know what I mean? Like I need to slow my brain down.
Breathe.
That's not a good place to be mentally.
Well,
that's not where you're calm.
Makes sense.
But there's other players where you look at the greats of all time: Wayne Gretzky, Tom Brady,
they stone cold.
Nash.
They live for them type of moments.
It's not just about being stone cold. It's about what happens to your brain in those moments. If everybody else around you is 12% to 15% more panicked, and you actually are more zoned in, what's the gap?
Numbers on how much panic you have? How do you quantify that?
You can actually. You can.
My question.
You can do
in real time, Pin. In real time.
No, not in real time. But in retrospect, if I put a heart rate monitor on,
what does this have to do with the Steph Curry conversation?
Ron, what does SGA have?
Well, I think it's important, but this is not the conversation. Like, we just not.
I just want to know what SGA has to do in your estimation, because you told me that he hasn't done a damn thing. How much more of this then do you need to see before we can start to have a legit conversation? Like before we can have a legit conversation. Ron, you know how I feel when we talk about the all-time greats. I need a decade. Before we can have a real conversation about you. I need 10 years. How much more time do you need before you go, yo, this dude, we could have a real conversation about him and player A? Because I don't think him and Bryant are in the same space. I don't.
SGA,
they're not.
But I'm not going to say he hasn't done anything.
Let's move on.
I'm gonna need at least 5 to 7 more years.
This is all off season, bro. This is all off season.
How many?
I'm fine, but it ain't the off season yet. What I'm saying is, I
5 to 7
years.
Yeah, it don't even necessarily got to be at this level. It could be a tier or 2 down, but I need 5 to 7 more.
Ron, if he does this, if he has 4 more years like this,
if he plays like this till he's 30,
I'm not talking career. I'm talking peak.
16 straight years.
No, but Kobe wasn't this good.
I'm not talking
this good for 16 years though.
Yo,
no, he didn't, Ron.
Yo, Ron, I think
I'm not talking
about their career.
I'll give you 12.
14.
No.
From
just give me 4 more. Just give me 4 more years. SGA.
He'd already torn his Achilles by that point. So
from 90, and he came back off the Achilles balling.
Super chat.
Kobe came back off the Achilles balling.
Ron's gonna get
No, I'm not. Kobe came back off the Achilles going like he was still balling. I'm not saying
he was on the court. He was playing basketball. He was
hooping.
What? Now,
Ron, from 2000 to 2012, that's kind of where the love stops. But those were a great 12, 13 years. Amazing 12, 13 years. SGA, give me 4 more, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? And then let's talk about it. Now, Penn, I'm with you about being early to things. I know how you like to be early and project on things, and I can't knock you for that. I'm talking about right now. I don't think we're ready for that conversation. And you know what? I don't think he's ready for that conversation on the court. And honestly, from a human standpoint, some of us aren't ready to talk about that this early. I think you're just more mentally capable of having those conversations a little earlier, and that's
and Penn, you're jumping to Kobe. Is he better than Giannis?
Yeah,
for you?
No.
No, Ron.
Michael, please stop. Michael, please. I'm trying to get.
Hold on. Okay. Penn, you think he's better than Apex Giannis at this point?
No, not Apex Giannis, but
Well, that's
this
what I'm
version
talking
of Giannis, yes.
He's not better than Giannis today.
This Giannis.
Yeah,
I have the conversation.
And he's better than Luka too.
I have the Luka conversation.
Hey, I'm with that.
No, but you know what? I'll accept it. I'll accept it. But
I'll have a Luka conversation. I'll have a Giannis conversation today.
And this is what happens.
Ladies
and gentlemen,
next year,
you win.
Next
what
year,
happens is the conversation about
he ain't better than Giannis. He ain't better than Giannis.
When you start to win, the conversation about you changes. 100%.
And so
if SGA stayed
like it's supposed to,
if SGA stayed as a first-team All-League performer for the last 3 years, averaging 30 a game, and his team was getting bounced in round 1 or in the semifinals, we wouldn't even touch this conversation.
Mars, but hold on.
Yeah, sometimes all you need is a dude. All you need is a dude.
Hold on, Swiper, but before you change the subject, hold on, just right quick. I gotta put this in. I gotta just put this in. So, in 3 weeks, when Halliburton serves this dude and is averaging 20, 25, and 10 in the NBA Finals, like he's been doing, like he's been doing the whole playoffs.
I don't think
I want you
in that dirty ass Puma hat to put him in Jason Kidd conversations. I want you in that dirty ass Puma hat to put him in John Stockton conversations.
You called him the best point guard in the NBA.
I want you in that fake ass Joker hat, Swiper, to put him in Magic Johnson conversations. I want all of you guys to
don't know anything about Wakanda. Doesn't know anything about comics. Doesn't know anything about the DC world at all in any way, Marvel, any of that. So, Mars. But do you understand? Because we've had this conversation, and you've been in opposition to this, but I hope do you see my vantage point now in talking about like why roster construction matters so much? And I think the difference between what SGA has around him to elevate him to conversation like Penn is talking about, whereas Giannis, he's lacking so much of that. If Giannis did have something at least like in the proximity of that, we would be putting him back in conversations of clear, like best in the world talks, back in conversations. He's having one of the greatest 10, 15 peaks of all time. Like, I think that matters. Like, we're slanting so hard toward SGA. He's a great individual player. But at the same time, like, he's also benefiting in ways that his team is so good that now he's winning at such a high level this year, maybe next year, that now he's in, like, Kobe and Steph and Giannis talks, where it's like there are other players that I think only two, to be fair, that I think have legitimate arguments over SGA's players. But they're both in more disadvantageous situations, but SGA is going to be lifted up. It seems like above one of them in particular, in Giannis, because of the situations around them. I think for me, Giannis this year, I think SGA was better. I'm with you, Penn. But I'm also saying, if Giannis got another roster like 21 around him, the conversations around Giannis's play would be vastly different. Okay. I'm not disagreeing. I'm saying you can think he's better. I don't think that's a great argument.
For sure.
Hang on.
That's all I'm saying, Mark. That's
all I'm saying. Very important part.
That's all I'm
saying.
Just give him proof.
Aaron Gordon, prior to the tear, prior to the injury, was Aaron Gordon outplaying Chet Holmgren?
In that series, yes.
Okay, great. Was Jamal Murray outplaying J-Dub?
No, I think he had 2 good games, but I don't know about outplaying.
Was it relatively close?
When you factor in the defense.
When you consider the championship experience around Jokic, I could argue that maybe it was Shai who was in a disadvantageous situation because he had the youngest roster in the goddamn league. Yeah, think about that.
Super chat.
No, man. Like, I am sick and tired of y'all reverse engineering.
Lose your mind, Diesel.
No.
We got $50.
Lose your mind, Diesel.
Go ahead. Young teams are not supposed to win. What were we?
Yes. We have talked. We definitely talked about that. I'm with you on that, Pin, because I'm still coming to. Like I said, I don't think they're a great. They're a great team. But I was with you. I've been saying that from the beginning. I'm always going to side with experience if the teams are close. That's why I had Denver. I took Denver because I thought that the experience was going to prevail. But sometimes, you pull a hammy and shit happens. You know what I'm saying? So,
okay, cool. And sometimes
they were absolutely going to beat that team with the healthy Aaron Gordon.
Hang on. And sometimes Chet blows 2 free throws, even though he's a good shooter. It happens.
That could be inexperience.
The lights might have been too bright. That could be Mark Daigneault fouling down 3.
His panic levels
all I'm saying is,
can we get a number on that? I want to know what number he was at. What percentage of panic was he at the free throw line?
Fellas,
I got a high level panic.
Ron, we're getting to the science of the game right now, Ron. Don't cut it out now.
I gotta grab the wheel. The road that we're driving down is quickly coming to an end. And on top of that, I still have a couple.
Not with your non-driving ass.
God damn.
Get Ron out the driver's seat. Get him
Shit, how many times did we almost have to pull over like Ron? Do you know where you going, bro? Like,
he has no idea where we going.
GPS, bro.
You can't drive for nothing. And I'm not even talking about
a nonchalant nigga sent through a super chat.
It's the player choice way. Yeah, them boys don't get it started. The player choice way. Y'all the player choice way. Come and switch lanes into the player choice way.